Okay, in that case, I'm recording now. You ready to go? Perfect. 3, 2, 1, record.
So, okay, so in our last episode, we were supposed to, we mentioned that we were going to talk about our most anticipated games of 2018. And now it's, 4 months into 2018, and
Yeah.
all of my anticipated games are out already.
Yeah, my big one, Far Cry 5, is out, and I'm playing it right now.
Well, I'm not, I got it. I haven't started playing it yet. But I am looking forward to it. It does look like Ubisoft genuinely did a good, which is, okay, you get one head pat, Ubisoft.
So far,
One head pat.
my favorite part is, you know how the big thing was how they took out radio towers? They're not doing radio towers this time.
Okay, so...
And at the very beginning of the game, in the tutorial island, the guy who's sort of presiding over your tutorial says, "Oh, I need you to do me a favor and go to this radio tower and climb up it and unlock it." And you're like, "Oh, okay." And halfway through climbing out the radio tower, he contacts you and says, "Okay, I just want to make it clear that I'm not going to ask you to climb like one of these in every part of the county. Okay, this is just like a one-time thing. All right, this isn't going to be a regular thing. Okay, just want to make sure you're aware that I'm not going to ask you to do this like 50 times." And it was like this hilarious joke. I thought that was very funny.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty funny. I'm trying to figure out... it might have been because I was in a fever dream. Because again, like I think I told you privately, I'm coming back from a 6-week stint out on the road, so I'm pretty jaded and all kinds of shit. I'm back home, and don't worry, I'm getting plenty of alcohol in my system, so I'll be okay. That's the joke. Ha ha ha. No, but no, I think it was when I was watching Jim Pression's video on Far Cry 5. I heard it in the background. It might have been him or like Sid Alpha or somebody, I forget. But apparently there's like either a cult member or because basically from what I understand, the bad guys are the cults. They're the villains. And then the good guys are just the residents of this county in Montana. And I'm not too sure if it's one of the residents or one of the cult members, just in their idle NPC chat, they just talk about how, like, yeah, and we gotta build a wall up on the Canadian border, 700 feet tall, made out of ice, and every year we move it up an inch until we take back what's rightfully ours.
So my favorite part, that is a resistance member who says that, not a cult member. I did get that part.
A good guy says it.
Yeah, that was very funny. What's great about Far Cry 5 is, like, a lot of people thought, oh, it's going to be a bunch of, rational people fighting the Westboro Baptist Church. It's not true. The enemies that you fight are a cult of crazy, largely right-wing, conservative, fundamentalist Christian gun-toters. And the people that you fight with largely are your average right-wing, gun-toting conservatives who just aren't as fundamentalist Christians as the cult. So
yeah, you're only allied with them out of convenience because you're a federal agent, and they don't take kindly to you, but the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah, and now that said, the people of Montana who are resistance members are portrayed largely as pretty cool, chill people who are kind of okay with most things and aren't super conservative, but they're really irritated that this bizarre cult has taken over their town. So, I wouldn't say that, like, the game necessarily has a liberal bent to it like people thought it was going to have. And in fact, I've heard
it's largely apolitical.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of disappointment that, oh, why aren't we fighting, with left wing, left wing?
Well,
it's not that simple, guys. The world isn't that simple, and neither is the story of this game.
And I read in a few places, like, there was a Forbes article where they seemed to come off as kind of upset that the resistance members aren't all white, and that the cult members aren't all white. It's
Yeah.
like there's a diverse crowd on both sides.
Yeah, and in fact, one of my favorite characters in the game, Pastor Jerome, is actually quite conservative in his views.
Yeah,
Politically,
Yeah,
and he is, of course, a pastor of a somewhat subdued evangelical church, but he's portrayed as a very good person, which I think is very interesting, because you would think, looking at the game, that it's going to be like, oh, religion is bad. It's not. It's not a JRPG. Religion is just a byproduct of the society, and what they're sort of the kind of agenda, I guess, that Ubisoft is pushing with this one is religion can be good and bad. It depends entirely upon how religion is used, and they make that come across by having, a character as part of the resistance as one of your allies who is very deeply Christian. And just happens to be like, look, these guys are like crazy. They're fucking crazy Christians, and we gotta put them down, because that's not what Christianity is. And I think that's a really good theme that they have going for the game.
Yeah, and if you're trying to look for a message, I think the message is, because that's the thing is, like they like the devs, like in previous interviews and stuff, have stated that they moved away from having a message, that they were intentionally making the game apolitical. And just focusing mostly on the gameplay, which I think is fine. We have games. There are plenty of games out there that do convey a political message.
One way or the other, yeah.
Yeah. And if you do want to come away with a message, is that, that things in moderation are fine, even things such as faith and religion. As long as it's in moderation, it's fine, because you have the pastor, and then you have the cult member, and the cult member is Christian, is quote, because okay, here's the thing, the fundamental thing about cults is that they start off as one thing, and then increasingly become about the leader. It's sort of like with Jim Jones. You remember Jim Jones? His group initially started as a socialist organization, and then it became a Christian socialist organization, and then as it got more and more cultish and extremist, it became about Jim Jones. And that's how all cults eventually become, is that it becomes around the cult leader.
I also want to make things very clear too as well. The Eden's Gate cult that you fight in Far Cry 5 is not the Westboro Baptist Church.
No.
They are not a fundamental evangelical church. They are a doomsday cult. It's completely different.
Yeah, it's two separate things, and one of the interesting thing was actually, because I do go through Montana quite often, and there was discussion in Montana about the game, and I thought that maybe there might be some, that what I thought. When I heard discussion about it within Montana and also online from Montanans about the game, is that I thought that people were going to be upset that this was somehow going to be a negative portrayal of Montana, and I have not seen that. From what I've seen, either people from Montana don't care, or they're totally fine with it.
Well, the portrayal of the average citizen of Hope County, which of course is a fake county in the game.
Yeah, it's not a real county.
Is that they portray them as very, very self-sufficient people who sort of not necessarily ignore the federal government, but more along the lines of that they feel ignored by the federal government for the most part, and thus have turned to being very self-sufficient, which isn't necessarily inaccurate.
It's not inaccurate, nor is it like wrong or bad to be that way.
Yeah, and the first story point of the game is like point blank. A couple of the resistance members tell you the federal government probably isn't going to help us, and we have to fix this ourselves. But you know what? This is our town, this is our county, and it's our job to drive this cult out, with or without the government's help. And I thought that was a really interesting portrayal of your average rural Montanan. Is not necessarily accurate, but it's also not necessarily inaccurate.
Yeah, and that's largely like if we look at history, that's sort of been what has happened, not in Montana specifically, but in northern Idaho. Back in the 70s and 80s, northern Idaho had a serious neo-Nazi problem with especially around Coeur d'Alene and Sandpoint. And the federal government would step in, in the most extreme cases of like actual like kidnappings or murder, but it eventually took the people of northern Idaho to get rid of the neo-Nazis finally.
Yeah, and the other thing that's great too is a lot of the main characters that you meet, and I say main characters as in people like your guns for hire and major quest giver NPCs. So Pastor Jerome, of course, is a quest giver, but you also have some people who you can put in your party, including Nick Rye, who was in many of the trailers as the guy with the plane. His introduction is fantastic. He's a really cool character. The girl who runs the bar, whose name I've forgotten, she's a fantastic character. The African American woman who is a sniper, who's a former military sniper, you can get her in her party. She's a fantastic party member. Her introduction story is amazing. She's protecting her father's burial ground from the cults who are trying to tear down the church because it's not a good church in their opinion.
It's competition. That's what it is.
Yeah, and they're trying to defile her father's grave, and she's like, "No, this is my dad's grave. He died in a war, and I lived through a war. I'm not going to let you defile my father's grave, you sons of bitches." And to prove it, here's me with a sniper rifle sitting up in a church belfry, picking you off. All of the guns for hire stories are fantastic. When you rescue the dog, it's a great story. Boomer. When you rescue a Cheeseburger the bear, it's fantastic. I didn't know as part of the story Cheeseburger actually has diabetes. Like that's an actual story point for the bear. I thought that was really funny. In general,
I love how the description of Boomer is basically is a good boy.
Yeah, he's the good boy. That's his code name is the good boy.
Yeah. Though I've seen again, I have the game. I have not played through it yet, but I did watch Charlie's stream. Critical.
Yeah.
And Boomer just constantly got into trouble. For it must have just been Charlie's game, stream and his gameplay, but Boomer just constantly aggroed cult members and just got into so much trouble.
Yeah, the secret to using Boomer is you have to always be crouched and sneaking, or else he will just kill everything, or at least try to. The reason why I like Boomer is what I'll do is I'll call Boomer in for a mission, and then I'll stay in stealth, and I'll just run around the complex stealthed. And because he functions similarly to D-Dog from Metal Gear, he will actually mark all the enemies, and then what I'll do is I'll dismiss him and call in a different party member to help me pick off everyone if you're trying to stealth something, because like Boomer's greatest power is the ability to mark people for you that you can't see, that he doesn't even have to have line of sight, he can just smell them. So
that's good.
He's great for doing reconnaissance, and then if there isn't that many people, he's great for doing stealth, because if you can get him to get behind people and kill them, he's very efficient. But I've found that he's best used for reconnaissance, and then you call in someone else to help you pick him off stealthily. The girl with the I forgot her name, but the girl with the bow and arrow is fantastic for that, because you can just tell her.
What's
okay,
her?
kill this guy.
I forgot her name. She's got like the really high cut jean shorts, I think.
Yeah, and
I know that because for some reason Charlie's stream, the camera always like whenever she like fell or the game glitched, it would just like centered right on her ass.
Yeah,
so that's how I know. So that's how I know she has high cut jeans.
She wears a kind of elven archer cloak almost, but like modern. Her costume is very much like the elf from Dragon's Dogma, Dragon's Crown.
Yeah, Dragon's Crown.
Yeah, she has kind of a similar like style to that, but very, very modern American.
That's pretty cool. Before we move on, one more thing I'd like to mention is like I am curious as to how much Ford either paid or paid them to not mark, because it seems like every single pickup truck is a brand new like 2018 Ford F-150 in that game. No matter no matter if they're like the Colts or the Resistance, it's just so many goddamn F-150s in that game. It's just like, have you been to Montana? Yeah, there's plenty of F-150s, but they're not brand new 2018s. You know, come on, guys.
My favorite aesthetic in the game so far, though, is just how fucking America everything is. There's red, white, and blue on everything. There's eagle decals on everything. When you finish a mission, it flashes a American flag with the name of the mission, says completed, and then like fireworks pop up on your screen. Like it's fantastic. They got the aesthetic down in such a absurd way that it's exceedingly funny for me.
Yeah, and I know we've got plenty of listeners who do not live in the U.S., and let me just say that is only a slight exaggeration.
only a small exaggeration. In fact, I'm honestly surprised at how well a studio in Montreal captured the spirit of America.
Well, they actually did go to Western Montana.
Yes, they did. They did a whole thing about that.
They went to like Kalispell and Missoula and Butte, Montana. So they really captured what Western Montana is like. And it is a beautiful country. It is, if you're ever going to go to the United States, I highly recommend checking out Western Montana. It is beautiful. And trust me, there are not that many cults, and they're not as dangerous as this cult.
I have to say, because I've been all around Montana. I used to have family up there. They're all dead now, but I used to go out there all the time. And I have to say, they've done a very good job, like in a sort of microcosm, capturing what Western Montana looks like in a very good way.
Yeah, it's very beautiful. Eastern Montana basically just looks like North and South Dakota. It's pretty boring, but Western Montana, fields, lots of wheat, lots of wheat, lots of cows, but Western Montana is just beautiful, and they did a very good job capturing that beauty. Though, I'm trying to think, because I haven't played through the game. Is there a microbrewery in the game? Is there like a brewery?
If there is, I have not gotten to a point. I am about halfway through the first boss area right now, so I'm not that far in.
Okay, because there are some very notable breweries in Western Montana, and it'd be a shame if they didn't include a brewery in the game.
I did just finish the joke mission where you have to collect testicles. So
for the testy festy,
which is a real thing. It's not in Montana.
A real thing. It is just outside Missoula, Montana.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I've never been to it, but I've driven past it when it's going on.
Oh, is that near Billings?
Missoula.
Okay.
If you head west, if you head east on Interstate, I can give you directions to it. If you head east out of Missoula on Interstate 90, about 15 miles, it's right there on this. When it happens, it's on the side. It's on the side of Interstate 90. You take the exit. It's right fucking there. When it's happening, it happens for like a week out of the year. But it happens. There's a lot of bull's testicles, and there's a lot of very old, like people in their 40s and 50s, completely naked.
I did not know, because the one I know about is the one in Illinois, which is a turkey testicle.
This is bull testicles.
Oh,
and
I didn't know about that one.
Yeah, it's called the Testy Festy, and there's. If you're into middle-age life crisis, old people completely naked, eating bull testicles, and getting drunk and high, that's the place you want to be. That
sounds like a fantastic time, to be honest.
I drive past it and I see what goes on there. I'm like, okay, I've had enough.
I've seen what I need to see. I'll keep driving now.
Yes, I'll keep going. No, that's fine. I don't need a test. I don't need to eat a testicle. I'm already gay enough. I'm good.
We're good. We're good where we are.
Yeah. But Far Cry 5. Again, I haven't started up the game yet, but from what I've heard from so many people, this is a good game by Ubisoft, and I think it is worth the $59.99 asking price. the DLC, from what I've seen, the microtransactions are absolutely not necessary.
No, I will note this, however. Hilariously, the microtransactions system that they put in has made the game suitably difficult. So in previous Far Cry games, doing things like refilling your ammo and buying like run-of-the-mill stuff like crafting items and drugs and shit was a non-issue because the game threw money at you, and the only thing that took time to build up money for was buying new weapons. But in Far Cry 3 you had to unlock the ability to buy those weapons by finishing radio towers. Instead, what they've done is they've made everything fucking appropriately expensive in the game, including ammo, which is ridiculously expensive to refill. And nothing is gated.
That's Obama's government.
Yeah.
That's
exactly. It's the taxes. And nothing is gated off by story progression in terms of the weapons that you get, except for special weapons that are part of missions. Like there's a mission that you do for a guy who's a crazy alien nut job. He's a what's the word?
Conspiracy theorist?
Yeah, he's an alien conspiracy theorist. You do a whole set of missions for him where he tries to save the Earth from aliens. And completing that mission gives you basically a gravity gun.
Nice.
So like there's stuff like that, but like your average run-of-the-mill guns and the ability to put silencers on them, all of that is only gated off by money, and it's all fucking expensive. And the reason they did that is because you can purchase with real money packs for the game via microtransactions. But if you ignore that, if I'm honest, all it does is turn the game into a suitably difficult game. Because now you have to, appropriately conserve your ammo. You can't waste ammo. You got to be careful about, how you use your money. You got to do those side quests to build up money. And I think it actually works out better that way, just because it now actually makes the game's difficulty curve actually kind of appropriate, and then you can just waive the difficulty curve if you want to just pay for it. I actually think that's fine, and I kind of like that.
Yeah, because if you don't use it, then you're more encouraged to use like Boomer and the Elf Girl and Cheeseburger to help you. Whereas like in Far Cry 3, I don't know if I told you this before, but when I played through Far Cry 3, I literally took over a camp by standing on a cliffside and firing a single rocket into it.
Yeah,
and it blew up some barrels, released the leopard, which killed all the members, and everything just was on fire. And I just took over the camp.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, Far Cry 5 definitely recommended $60 purchase. If not, any kind of discount, any kind of sale, just immediately pick it up.
I highly recommend picking it up on sale. Yeah, I actually pre-purchased it so I could preload it on Steam, so I could play it as soon as it unlocked. But I don't recommend doing that for most things. I already knew that I was going to play Far Cry 5, whether or not I liked it, so that's why I did that. But if the game goes on sale for like, I'd say it's worth it even for like as low as a 30% sale. Yeah.
And as far as like any kind of controversy, just ignore the controversy. It's just a fun game. It's a video game. Have fun. It's supposed to be entertainment.
Yeah, exactly.
Have fun. And as far as like any controversy from like actual Montanans sort of have the same mindset that people here in South Dakota have, where really any kind of attention is positive attention. Because there's not a whole lot that goes on out here, so any kind of attention we get, we appreciate, even if it's like, oh, they tried to ban abortion again. Yeah. Hey, at least you're noticing this, senpai. No, I love these states. They're crazy and they're fucked up in their own way, but I love living out here. It's fun. So anyway, yeah, Far Cry 5. Good game. Another good game I'd like to talk about really briefly. For this episode, yes, we've been away for a while, and let me just say it's
let's go into that for a second. First off, you were away for 6 weeks on a 6-week delivery job.
Well, it was voluntary because it was just like, you know what, I just want to, because this winter has been particularly difficult. I mean, we've had a good share of extreme weather. And I just decided, well, if the weather's going to be shitty, I'd rather be working, because if the weather's shitty on my time off, then I just sit at home and don't do it, and just veg out as a hermit on my computer. So if I have time off, I'd rather the weather be good, because then I can guilt myself into going outside. So I just decided, okay, I'm gonna just work through all this shitty weather. So I was out for about 6 weeks. Just driving and working, making deliveries, and now I'm back home, which is nice, which gave me time to get off work. And you've been busting your ass as well.
Yeah, we had some people quit and some people transfer, and my company is very slow on hiring people right now, because apparently the part of our company that is responsible for recruitment is actually understaffed. So recruiting is happening very slowly across the entire company. So right now we're very understaffed where I work, and all of us have been pooling, basically 60+ hour work weeks, 6 days a week, sometimes 7. On a Sunday I might go in to do prep work for Monday. And I am myself running an entire location solo. So my hours have been pretty bad with the company that I work at.
Well, you've been getting a lot of hours, but
I've been getting a lot of hours. Yeah, sure.
It's just like they're bad because they're giving you too many hours.
Yeah, if I'm honest though, like the money at this point's not even worth it. I just want to work 40 hours a week.
Yeah, I kind of got the same way, because towards when I told them I started, it's like, hey, end of March, please send me back home. They were like, oh, are you sure? We got plenty of work for you. I was like, no, please send me.
No, please.
Please, I want to go home. Okay, let me go off on a little tangent here. Because, there's a problem in the trucking industry. A lot of old truckers, like in their 50s and 60s, are starting to retire, because, it's just, they're getting too old. Their backs aren't in, their backs are, it's just like, this is a very taxing job. Despite all the technology that's going into it, it's still a hard job to do. And so there's a massive driver shortage right now, which means there's lots of work and not enough drivers to do all the work. So, the ones who are here, we've got plenty of work, and then I'm kind of in the same boat you are in bullshit, where there's just too much fucking work. And what's not helping the issue, and this actually has a lot of companies in this industry pissed off, is Elon Musk. Because him and also another company called Auto Transportation, and then another company out of Utah, have been really promoting these next generation of trucks. The electric hydrogen fuel cell hybrid trucks. Yeah, I think I showed you before, there's the Tesla truck, and then there's the Nikola truck. Which are basically just like they're basically just like hydrogen powered trains, which are really amazing trucks, and I can't wait to finally get my hands on one of those, because they look fucking amazing. Actually, let me show you a picture of the Nikola truck. It looks fucking amazing. But the companies are sort of like looking at Tesla and Nikola, and also Peterbilt, because Peterbilt's teaming up with Walmart to build a hydrogen electric hybrid truck. And there's sort of a misconception going around that these trucks are autonomous, which means that supposedly they're going to be completely driver free. They're not. They still require a driver, and because of that, companies have pinned that as why it's so difficult for them to find new drivers. Because everybody just sort of assumes that these trucks don't need drivers, and so why bother even considering going into the trucking industry? I just sent you a picture of the Nikola truck, by the way. It looks fucking amazing. I can't wait to get my hands on one of these things. That looks
looks ridiculous.
that looks fucking awesome. I'm probably gonna make that the thumbnail of this video. This thing looks fucking amazing. And so, and I actually told you like earlier in the week, because I'm one of the youngest drivers in my company, and they came to me like because they're like, hey, you fit the millennial demographic. Why don't you help us? Why don't you give us suggestions on how to attract millennials? Like, and they were implying like, okay, what kind of memes should we look at? You know, what kind of marketing? You know, should we go with like a Pepe meme or what? And I'm like, okay, here's what you do. Offer a good healthcare package, offer a good retirement package, offer worthwhile pay for the work they're going to put in. And they're like, oh, is that it?
Oh, we just have to pay more.
Yeah. Oh,
yes.
we just yes.
Yes, you do.
Yes. Believe it or not, millennials want money. They don't want memes. They want money. They want to be able to. They want to be able to not go hungry. That's what millennials care about. And they're like, oh, okay. I'm just like, come on, guys. You can get millennials in the trucks. You can get millennials in the trucks. It's just you gotta. It's just like, despite what goes on the internet, you can't get millennials on the job with memes. You gotta get them with a good benefit package and money. That's millennials aren't the special fucking demographic. They're just like any other demographic. They want money and they want security. That's what they want. The memes and shit are just what they do because they're bored and they're shit posting. Oh, you need me to explain what shit posting is? Okay. It's like I gave them these suggestions and they said thank you, and hopefully they figure something out, because it's like I'm not gonna be driving for forever. I'm eventually gonna go do something else, and you need to find somebody else to fucking do this job. So, because as much as the perception of autonomous driving, especially in trucks, is prevalent in the industry, it's not going to happen for another 30 or 40 years. For truly autonomous trucks, there's still going to be a need for drivers for at least another 30 to 40 years. So, if you're a millennial and you really need work and you're, then. Try trucking. You don't have to buy into the culture. I certainly don't. I fucking watch anime and fucking shit posts on Discord, and I still drive a truck. You could totally do that. Anyway, so yeah, that's how our lives have been. That's where
we've been. We've been fucking busy with work and shit.
Yeah, we're adults, supposedly.
Hopefully.
So, oh god, if we're adults, dude, the world's fucking doomed. Yeah, I mean, the world's already doomed. I mean, but who, it's like, well, we just make do. I hope I can get to Russia before the sanctions make it so where I can't go to Russia anymore. I'm hoping I can still get to Russia before everything goes to shit. Just on vacation. I'm not actually gonna emigrate to Russia. I just wanna clear my bucket list for a few things, which we were talking about yesterday, but we don't need to talk about that.
Talk about travel.
Yeah, how I'm like, I'm gonna go to Russia. I kind of want to check out Mongolia, and and then finish it off with a trip to Japan. And you're like, I want to go to Montana.
My bucket list or at least my travel bucket list is very simple. I want to do the Weeb Mecca. I want to go to Akihabara because I'm garbage. And then pretty much everything else I want to see is just, American national parks, maybe a couple national parks in, like, Canada. That's it. I don't have big dreams. I just want to play video games.
Yeah, that's totally fine. I see nothing wrong with that. Yeah, we can't all be we all can't be Noah Caldwell Smith. Oh, you watch him too?
Yeah, I do.
He's my favorite game analyst who lives in a van by the river. What other cool shit do we have?
So, I've been pretty busy watching anime and shit lately because man, I don't have a lot of time when I get home from work, and I'm usually so wasted that I don't really want to even play video games. I'm just so tired. I just want to lie back and look at something. So I've been actually sitting down with a lot of friends, getting real high, and watching anime. That's another thing, by the way. I don't know if we talked about this, but dude, the legalization of marijuana in California has hampered my desire to move out of California. Like I've been saying for a long time that I don't really want to stick around in California too much just because of the housing prices. But the legalization of marijuana here has been so beneficial for us. Actually, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but they're projecting that if the sale trends for marijuana products in California continues on its current path, that by the end of 2019, the revenue generated for the state government by the taxes on marijuana will surpass the revenue generated by beer in California. That's very, very, very good news for all of us here in California, because revenue for the state government is something I like to hear about, especially if it's from taxes on things like drugs. But anyways, I've basically been getting high like every day just to help myself get to sleep, and I'm pretty sure it's the only reason I'm not dead right now from work.
Let me just say, I think that's the only possible way that weed will ever be legalized in states like South Dakota, because basically any kind of marijuana legalization progress has been put on hold for, at least until 2020, possibly 2024, whenever Trump gets finally either kicked out of office in one way or another, hopefully soon. So any kind of legalization has been put on hold, and the way it's been going in California and Oregon and Washington and Colorado, that's like my only hope is that weed is not legalized, here by votes, but by just necessity, where it's like the South Dakota government just looks at California and Oregon and Washington and Colorado and just is like, that's a lot of money.
Holy shit, it's a lot of money, guys. That's the one thing that I said from like day one, guys. It's a lot of money for the state government. It's a lot of money for businesses.
Oh,
There's
God,
a huge opportunity for tax.
Could you imagine Sturgis with weed? Oh my God. Sturgis already brings in a fuck ton of money for the state. Just imagine it with weed. It's like, oh God, we could like fix all of our roads. And that's the only way I see states like mine, and, along with like North Dakota and like Nebraska, Montana, ever really legalizing weed. Is just like, it's not going to be on the discourse of like freedom and personal individual freedom. It's going to be on the revenue side. That's just the way these governments work. They're moral and ethical until money is involved.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, going back to what I was saying. Because my life has become go to work, come back home, eat a weed cookie, vegetate until sleep, go to work until Sunday, my day off. I've pretty much just been watching anime at night as I'm falling asleep. That's pretty much been my life. I haven't had a whole lot of time even for video games. So I've been keeping up with all the pertinent stuff. Of course, there is a new Yuri anime out this season called Citrus. I am watching that. It is a Yuri anime. Of course,
I heard it's actually pretty good.
It is quite good. It has a very, very interesting set of characters and a really nice story. I really wish they would adapt like some of the more popular Yuri comics, like, I don't know, Kase-san. Where's my anime adaptation for that? We got a music video. That was cool. Thanks. Where's the anime now? Of course, I've been watching Little Witch Academia. Fantastic as always. That's now finished. I just haven't gotten around to finishing the whole thing. And of course, I'm still keeping up with Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, and Pretty Cure. The latest iteration of Pretty Cure is actually quite good. It's called Hugto. Is very, very, very fun. Fantastic animation for the fight scenes. Highly recommend it if you're a fan of magical girls. And of course, Clamp started.
Oh God, Clamp!
Clamp started a new.
Clamp!
A new Cardcaptor Sakura manga, which now has an anime, of course, by Madhouse Animation, which I have been watching as well. Fantastic. You have to see Cardcaptor Sakura, the first show, before you watch the new one, because the new one is a sequel, takes place after, but it is quite good. I am really enjoying it a lot.
Nice. As far as me, I haven't watched a whole lot of anime. I've just been mostly playing video games, but as far as anime is concerned, I actually, I went back and because when it came out, it was seen as a major failure. You know, it's like Tales from Earthsea.
Oh, yeah, that's a fantastic movie, actually.
It's a fantastic movie, but it was deemed a failure upon release. It's by. It's known as Gato Senkai in Japan, but Tales of Earthsea over here, and it's by Goro Miyazaki, the son of the legendary
Hayao Miyazaki, yeah.
Hayao Miyazaki, and it's a fantastic movie. Ursula, was it Ursula K. Le Guin who wrote the Earthsea series?
I do not recall.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Tales of Earthsea is based on the novel series by, I want to say, Ursula K. Le Guin. If I'm wrong, I am terribly sorry. But it was kind of poo-pooed by her because she kind of felt it didn't catch her series properly, and even Girl's father, Ohio Miyazaki, kind of shit on it too because he's kind of he doesn't hold back his criticism even for his own son.
He is also a purist as well.
Exactly, yes. But for a first project by somebody who has never done anything in the industry prior, it is a spectacular movie. It is compared to anything from Studio Ghibli, it's not. It doesn't compare to anything from Studio Ghibli, at least in the later movies. But as a first go, it is fucking spectacular. And anybody who says that it's bad and that Goro Miyazaki should not make movies anymore, let me just say, it took Hayao Miyazaki 30 years to get to Princess Mononoke.
Yeah, exactly.
Goro Miyazaki is just starting out.
For a first attempt, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it took Hayao Miyazaki 30 years to get to Princess Mononoke, and if this is where Goro is starting, then luckily he hasn't listened to the critics. He hasn't listened to his father, and he's still working on projects. And again, I watched it. It was amazing. I highly recommend Tales from Earthsea, and I can't wait to see what more he has.
There is a movie that came out a couple years ago, but has only recently really hit a Western audience. And it's a movie done by Kyoto Animation, of course, the Kings of Moe. We all know them for their animes, K-On! And Hibike Euphonium and Free, Eternal Summer, and things like that. But it's actually a movie they did, a movie adaptation of a manga series called Koi no Katachi, or A Silent Voice is the official American title for that. Fantastic movie. I highly recommend it. Very good manga as well. But if you haven't read the manga, it is a little bit long, so you might want to just read. I mean, it's not like shonen long, but if you're a casual reader of manga like I am, it's a little long. But the movie is very good. Kyoto Animation, A Silent Voice. It's about a deaf girl. It's fantastic. It's not necessarily a realistic portrayal of what being deaf is like in a society that is not in a society that is stereotypically hearing, but it is a very good portrayal of the struggles of being deaf and the how people who are not deaf deal with that. It's a very, very good movie. Highly recommend it. It only
What's that name? What's the name of it again?
A Silent Voice.
Okay.
Koe no Katachi. Very, very good movie. It came out last year in the U.S., but it came out in 2016 in Japan. People are still talking about it, though. Of course, it is Kyoto Animation, so the animation quality is very, very beautiful. The art's fantastic. And they did a very good job of adapting the original manga.
I also went back, and it's sort of like a pilgrimage to me. You know, like how there's people who go back and watch like Cowboy Bebop like every year or something. You know, they always have something they go back to and they just watch. You know, out of like nostalgia or whatever. I went back and rewatched Redline because that is honestly one of my favorite movies out of Madhouse ever, and it's a damn shame that that it all sort of ended with Redline, but what a way to go. Is on it is on Redline. So yeah, I will always recommend Redline. That's a movie you have to watch, even if you don't care about cars or anything like that. It's just a wonderfully over the top movie that's just really fun to just. I was gonna say just like grab a fucking bottle of vodka and some popcorn, but yeah, I guess you could grab a weed cookie as well. And just fucking...
And then several bags of popcorn.
Yeah. and a bottle of vodka, just go full succobriette on that.
Oh, why? Why not? Just barf everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, when you get to the end of the movie, you kind of want to barf anyway. Well, when Super Baby shows up. Oh. that disgusting Lovecraftian monster. It's a race. Yeah, it's a movie about a race, and there's a Lovecraftian monster in the end called Super Baby. Or what? No, he wasn't even. What was he, like, Superboy or something? Super something. He just has a really outrageous name, and it's just this Lovecraftian, like, Binding of Isaac monster.
I've also been going through and playing a lot of this sort of garbage tier JRPG stuff, like the Neptunia series, Atelier series.
Yeah, that's always fun.
But there's a new one from Idea Factory and Compile Heart, one that came out very recently called Omega Quintet. It's sort of in the same similar vein as the Neptunia games, but a different world, different characters, different setting. And it's about it's like half your stereotypical JRPG from Compile Heart, part visual novel, of course, and then also part idol raising simulator. Because the story of the game is that the world's being overtaken by these monsters that can only be defeated by the power of young idols. So you have to create this like idol group and do concerts and shit, but then also fight monsters. It is horrible, but it's like thematically just garbage. But the game itself is actually pretty good because it's built in the same engine as the Neptunia games. With the same sort of style of gameplay. So if that's kind of the thing that you like, then Omega Quintet's actually quite good. There's also a new Neptunia game for Goddesses Online, which is a Unreal Engine 4 built a hack and slash game that I've been playing that's been quite fun as well. If you like the Neptunia series, I recommend checking that one out because it's more or less generally just more of the same.
One more thing back to anime is that Masaki Yusawa, he's a guy who in his previous works have mostly been making action scenes for other series. So he's an expert on very fluid, not really detailed, but very fluid and action-packed scenes and stuff. And one of his previous works is that I really like is the Tatami Galaxy. Really just sort of a visual... how do I want to say it? I wouldn't say it's a masterpiece, but it's very visually appealing, and just the amount of simplicity and just... like, it looks simple, but just... the amount of movement and animation that goes on is just very high quality, and how he's turned this into a Netflix original series, which is a reboot of Devilman Crybaby, which is the original Devilman Crybaby came out like in the 70s or 80s and was very tame compared to the manga, but Devilman Crybaby goes back to the manga, and it's very violent, very sexual. It's done by Masaki Yusawa, and it's just fucking spectacular. And I am so glad Netflix put it out there, because it is a visual treat, and I highly recommend, as long as you're okay with a lot of violence and sex, which I think a lot of our listeners are okay with, then definitely check out Devilman Crybaby, either on Netflix or wherever you get your anime. Because with the way things are with the anime, I don't really care if you pirate it or not, because it's kind of a shit show right now when it comes to being able to watch anime. So do you just check out Devilman Crybaby. It's amazing.
Back on the topic of games.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done with shows and movies now.
Back on the topic of upcoming games. Everyone who follows me knows that I do have a HOTAS, and I have gotten back into Elite Dangerous. Their recent major update to the game is fantastic, and has fixed a lot of the problems I have with the game. There's now actual quests that can be undertaken by an entire party, which is fantastic. They've done a major overhaul to their engineers upgrades. So if you haven't gotten into Elite Dangerous yet and you're thinking about it, recommend it. Getting in now is the time, as they've just done one of their last rounds of bug fixes for their major update. But everybody who knows me knows that the Elite Dangerous is not the reason I got a HOTAS. The reason I got a HOTAS was for Mech Warrior, and we finally have a release window for Mech Warrior 5.
Yeah, I was about to ask you. I saw it's on GOG. Are you gonna pre-order it on GOG or Steam?
Probably Steam.
Okay.
Just because most of my friends who are gonna play with me are gonna get it on Steam. So I'm definitely looking forward to that game. Everything about Mech Warrior Online from a design standpoint, I have generally liked. I just haven't liked the way they've done their payment model and how they've structured some of their design around the payment model. So I am excited for Mech Warrior 5, because it being a single-player experience from Piranha Games is actually something I'm interested in. And of course, full HOTAS support and all of that, very, very interested in that as well. The second game I'm really looking forward to is already out, and that's Monster Hunter World. And I've had to try...
God, I've heard so much. I am sitting here with my $60 clenched in my fist, being like, I gotta get it on Steam. I'm not getting it for the PS4. Fuck you.
See, here's the thing. I have so many friends who have it for PS4, and the urge to get it for PS4 is so great. The only thing is I don't want to get it for PS4 and then also get PSN Gold, but then know that the friends that I have who don't have PS4s who are going to get it for PC are going to get it for PC and then buy it again for PC.
I'm getting it for PC, so we definitely need to hook up on that shit.
So all of my friends who have it for PS4 currently have told me that they're going to get it for PC as well. So that's why I'm waiting. I'm so excited for that game to come out on PC. You have no idea. And I'm just hoping against hope that it's not, that the port isn't terrible. But it is Capcom, so it's a crapshoot. Who knows? The port could be good, the port could be bad.
Well, you know what? The port for Nier Automata was pretty shit, but I still thoroughly enjoyed it. I still have existential crises whenever I play it. So it's like, despite the quality of the port, I got the message.
I actually just
recently
finished Nier as well.
Okay, we need to later this week sometime. We need to do an episode where we just talk about Nier.
We just talk about Nier, yeah.
Because I need to just virtually hug you and start crying.
It was pretty fun. The game I felt didn't live quite up to the hype that some of my friends had hyped me, but I definitely enjoyed that one a lot.
I will admit I hyped it up pretty much, but I think it was also just a combination of the game and just my depression that really hyped it up.
Here's the thing I'm very excited about Monster Hunter World for, and that's that I'm fairly confident that they're not going to fuck up the port, because Monster Hunter World is to date Capcom's highest selling biggest game, period. So
I don't think they're gonna fuck it up, because from last, now this just may be rumors, but last I heard, Monster Hunter is becoming massively popular in China. And
yes,
consoles do not do well in China. It's all about the PC in China. So if they wanna do well in China, they're gonna have to make a good PC port. Yeah, we have a
hypothetical release window too. They're saying that they want to have at least a beta out the door by autumn, which is okay.
I heard that they want the full game out by September for the PC.
That's kind of what I've heard as well. I've heard beta, I've heard full game.
I'd rather they put out beta to make sure everything's working right than just throw the game out there, a la Platinum. Sorry, Platinum, I love your games, but your PC ports are fucking garbage, except when they're Vanquish and Bayonetta. Those were pretty solid ports.
Oh, I picked up Bayonetta on PC very recently.
Okay. Here's how you know I have a problem. I have Bayonetta on the PS3. I have Bayonetta on the PC. I have Bayonetta on the Wii U. I have Bayonetta on the fucking Switch. I have Bayonetta on 4 different consoles. Fuck you.
I've recently finally played Doom for the first time, the Doom 2016. God. It took me so long to get around to playing that game. I finally played it. What a ride that was. We'll play it again eventually.
Doom is such a good... for me, it'd be like, okay, this guy cut me off. Oh, this guy won't let me pass him. This guy just fucking ran by me, behind me, while I was trying to back up. I want to kill something right now. Oh, hey, I have Doom on my SSD. It will load in less than a minute. Oh, good. I'm ripping apart this fucking cacodemon. Oh, good. Thank God. I won't kill an actual human being now. The world is good now.
I've also
that's how Doom is for me. It's cathartic.
I've also been playing Divinity Original Sin 2 as well. I've been playing a co-op campaign with a friend of mine for that. That is really good. I am really enjoying Original Sin 2. I had a lot of problems with the first Original Sin, but Original Sin, the formula was great. Original Sin 2 really fixes a lot of the issues with that were present and is a lot less buggy than its predecessor, and has a Game Master mode where you can make your own campaign. Which is fantastic, because what it essentially lets you do is it lets you take that campaign that you had written for D&D that you couldn't find a group to play with, and translate it into a pre-existing game system with its own game engine that lets you customize. It has the map building for that game is like, what if the original map editor for StarCraft was just better? It's fantastic. It has a really good engine for Game Master mode. It gives the Game Master incredible control. I highly recommend checking out Larian Studios. Actually put up a sort of faux tutorial video. It's like a half hour long of this guy going through all the basic systems for the Game Master mode. Check it out. It's phenomenal. I've actually played around with Game Master mode a little bit myself, and it's great. I'm probably going to be running a campaign actually with some friends in that engine if they all pick up the game, which most likely they will.
I'm planning on picking up Divinity Original Sin, so
it's good. I can't recommend it enough. It has a fantastic... in fact, if I'm honest, play it solo. Don't play it with other people. I'm playing it with another person because I co-opted with them through the first one, and we're having a grand old time. But honestly, I recommend playing it solo for the first time, because it's actually really well built for a solo experience.
Yeah, just really quick, just on that whole solo thing. I've been getting really into Rainbow Six Siege, and let me just say, it's been gaining a lot of popularity. It's a very popular game. It's one of the most popular. I'd say it competes up there with like PUBG and Fortnite in just popularity. But with Rainbow Six Siege, if you want to get into it, I highly recommend just fucking. And I hate to say this, but this is really necessary if you want to get into Siege. Grind the single player training missions. Grind them until you can get good on realistic difficulty. Because if you try to jump in immediately into an online game, you will be fucking stomped. You will be fucking curb stomped, ground into the fucking earth if you try to just jump into a multiplayer game. If you're looking to get into Siege, just fucking do the single player training missions until you're good on realistic mode, because it's a very difficult game. Even if you have an OP operator like Tachanka, you're still gonna get proper fucked. Also, fuck the haters. I love Tachanka. Fucking fight me. Another game I've been playing, and this is probably a lot more tamer, is a game called Surviving Mars. And I guess basically what I can say about this is that it's City Skylines except based on Mars. It's by a completely different company. It's the same publisher, Paradox, but it's by a Bulgarian game development company. And yeah, you essentially build a city on Mars, and it offers different predicaments. It also sort of does the whole great secret thing where you can either choose which secret you want to discover, or you can have a random secret where you just discover something interesting, like, oh, here's a new way to create unlimited fuel, which could help out Earth, because Earth has a lot of energy issues, or there might be interesting things regarding alien life on Mars and stuff, and you could hunt those out, and it's like, oh shit, we're not alone. Oh my god, this is amazing. But it does have some problems, and it's something that I've seen other people notice, is that, like, after about playing it for about like 30 hours, you kind of, unless you do each and every secret, if you play it for 30 hours, you kind of play the entire game. And my issue with it is that, your ultimate goal is to have humans on Mars, in these giant domes, doing their thing. That's like the ultimate goal. But the thing is like, when I'm playing the game, it has a visual style of the 50s and 60s. So it's like, if you look at the way the drones look and the way the buildings look, they have a very 60s aesthetic of like, oh, this is what Mars could be, from the 60s and stuff. And the thing is like, I don't really give a shit about the humans, because you spend, because your ultimate goal is to get humans on Mars being productive members of society, producing things and shipping them back to Earth, or expanding, your city on Mars. But the thing is, you spend so much time with your drones. Your drones have this 60s aesthetic, and it might also be because, NASA did so much to personify and anthropomorphize the Curiosity rover, to where the Curiosity rover was a character. We followed him on Twitter, and we cared about Curiosity because it had a personality and everything. And your drones, the drones you have on Mars, have these cute little robot Wall-E faces on them, and they're just so adorable. and they work so hard to build these buildings and mine these minerals and build these domes. And then the humans show up and they just stay in the domes. They're not running around doing all these tasks for you. You don't give a shit about the humans. All I cared about were the fucking drones. I didn't give a shit about the humans, because the drones were running around doing everything. They were so adorable, and when one broke down, I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Let me try to find another drone with some battery power to give you, because I don't want you to die. But that's just a little problem I had with it. But they're constantly working on the game. They're patching it. They're doing more things with it. So yeah, that's one game I've been playing a lot of. It's Surviving Mars, and just it's like yeah, I'm just doing everything I can to just build the biggest city I can on Mars, and just shipping material back to Earth to keep Earth from just completely dying. Another game I haven't picked it up, but I really want to pick it up is because especially now that they've really worked hard on patching it, is Kingdom Come Deliverance. And I'm just, have you heard about the game?
Yes, I have actually been watching a YouTuber, Fabulous Krusty, play through it.
Yeah, I haven't watched a whole lot of people playing it because I do want to play it myself eventually. But this is a game I'm really interested in just because of how focused they are on trying to make 15th century Bohemia or 15th century Czech Republic, which was Bohemia back then. I've been watching Shadiversity. He's done several videos on it as well, and he's actually, and like Shadiversity is a guy who I go to sort of fact check whether something is realistic or not from like in fantasy or stuff. He's a really good channel to check out. Shadiversity. He's a very good channel to check out if like you're wondering, it's like, oh, can a human actually wield a battle axe that big? Or can this castle in Skyrim work? Here's a hint, it doesn't work. Because it's fucking Skyrim. But he did like a whole review on one of the castles in Kingdom Come. It's a 50-minute long video. This is how detailed the guy goes into one of the castles in Kingdom Come. And he's like, yeah, this is a fucking actual castle. This is like fully legit. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to picking up Kingdom Come. When it's not when I have the money, it's more of like when I have the time to play it, because I would like to play a legit realistic medieval combat game.
I also recommend, and the game is still getting regular updates. In fact, the game is technically still under development. They're adding a few additional things to the game, but it is fully functional and a full completed game. Otherwise, A Hat in Time.
Oh god. Okay, let me say something about A Hat in Time. I love that they continually update it. I wish the updates weren't the full game each and every single fucking time.
Yeah, that is a problem that they need to address.
Yeah, it's like you don't need to update the entire 3 gigabyte game to update a 4 megabyte file. Just update the file. Just update the 4 megabyte file, please.
Yeah.
But yes, aside from that, A Hat in Time is a very fun game.
It's fantastic. I'm really excited to have them finish the co-op mode because I do want to play that co-op with some people. But the game itself is fully functional and completed. You can complete the entire story mode. They're going to add 2 free worlds, I think, is the plan. 2 free additional worlds post-launch. That I'm not really as interested in because I think the worlds they have in there at launch is fine. But it's cool that they're doing that, and I'm really, really, really happy that they're continuing to support the game. It's fantastic. It's worth every penny. It is. I mean, well, it's not Ukulele. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, Ukulele. I kickstarted it. I had a lot of hopes for it. Ukulele is not a good game.
No, it's okay.
It's okay,
right.
But if you had to choose between A Hat in Time and Ukulele, go with A Hat in Time. It's just a better game. And if you have an issue with JonTron, which I know some people still do for some reason, get over it. A Hat in Time is just an objectively better game. Objectively and subjectively.
JonTron's role in it is so small that it doesn't even matter.
It's so
it
fucking
doesn't matter.
You could completely miss JonTron.
Like, I don't
fucking worry about it.
Like I don't
Seriously.
like JonTron. I've never really been into any of the things that he produces, but it doesn't matter. He's a voice. It doesn't matter, guys.
It doesn't matter. I love JonTron. And bullshit doesn't care for JonTron. I love JonTron. It doesn't fucking matter. Just play the fucking game.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
Okay, another thing I've been playing, and this is strictly because, and I think I texted you a picture of it because it's how I broke my New Year's resolution. I had a New Year's resolution where I was like, not gonna buy any games in 2018. I was just gonna play the games already. Yeah, that didn't fucking happen.
That didn't happen.
Well, this is how I broke it. I was in a Walmart near Portland, Oregon, and I was just, going through it like you do, in a fucking Walmart, and I saw with my eye a NES Classic.
Oh God.
And I'm like, yes, yes, I will buy that, and I bought it. So I have a NES Classic. It's a wonderful little console. Has tons of games. Has Star Fox 2, which you have to play through the first mission of Star Fox to unlock Star Fox 2. But any kind of game, any top 10 game of the NES is on the NES Classic already. But I'm like, oh hey, they're never gonna update this, so what can I do with it? Well, it turns out you can hack it, and there's a hack called Hack Sheet 2, because the first one was for the NES Classic, to throw games on that, and yeah, it turns out that the SNES Classic has about 200 megabytes of extra space on it, so you can add quite a few games to it. Along with like a little thumbnail picture of their box art, so that way it complements the style and everything. So yeah, I hacked mine and I threw a few extra games on there. You want to take a quick guess some bullshit of what games what
Secret of Mana.
That's already on there.
Oh, it's already on there. Okay.
Yeah.
Aerobiz Supersonic.
Yes.
For those of you who don't remember, Aerobiz Supersonic was a game that MDefmic challenged me to play that I'd never played before, and I fucking failed spectacularly at it because that game is hard.
I love Aerobiz Supersonic. Really quick for people who don't know, Aerobiz Supersonic is a game where you try to create and develop an airline, and it's if you're not into it, it's incredibly boring. But if you are, it's like the best. If you are into like a business simulator, it is like the best game ever. So I was like, okay, this, because literally the SNES Classic most likely has a game you already want to play. It has like all the greats on it, but with this hack, you can just add a few more games to it, which is really all you want. Which is really, I think, if you have an SNES Classic, that's really all you want. It's like, you don't care about running fucking Ubuntu or any of this shit on there. You're not worried. You're not getting this console to like fucking run Sega Genesis games on there or anything. You just, if you were to hack it, it's just to add a few more games to it, and that's what this hack does. Is you can add some more SNES games to it via ROM, and that's what I did. I just added the games I wanted to add on to it, and it's a great little system. It's a great little console, and well, let's be honest, you're probably never gonna own it because it's so fucking hard. I was just randomly in a fucking Walmart near Portland, Oregon, and they just happened to have like 5 NES Classics, and I just picked one up. That's how these consoles are. They are so hard to find that it's purely random when you will find one, and it's like, if you find one, you should probably get it, unless you really don't fucking care. If you care at all, you should probably get it. So yeah, so I can't. Well, is there anything I can think of talking about?
Yeah, we didn't really have a topic for this one. We've just been so busy, we haven't had time to, like, look at the internet, really.
Yeah, I do apologize. It's just like, yeah, we have jobs. Yeah. I will say, how because last week I was in San Francisco. I was in San Francisco last week, and let me just say, how do you do without like buying a gun and just murdering people?
Weed.
Because I weed, just weed.
Weed.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, because by the time I left San Francisco, I just wanted to fucking kill people.
There are so many cars in the Bay Area. There's just so many cars.
Why?
There's fucking cars.
There's not enough room for cars in the Bay Area. I went in with my truck because I had business there, and there wasn't enough room because of all the fucking cars.
Yeah, there's so many fucking cars. I can't. I have to get up like way before work to get to work, and I get home so late at night because it takes so long to drive. And look, here's the thing that kills me. I live 18 miles from where I work. If there was no traffic, that's like a 15-minute drive.
Yeah, if it was South Dakota, you could leave if you had to be at work at 8:00 in the morning in South Dakota, you could leave your house at 7:45 and get to work on time.
Yeah, I had to leave my house an hour before I get to work because my workplace is south from my house. And the freeway next to me going south in the morning is always packed because everybody's gonna 880. Everyone wants to live in the East Bay and work in Silicon Valley, which means that in the morning southbound is always clogged, and in the evening northbound is always clogged. My previous job was north of where I live, and that was amazing because even though it was 25 miles away from my house, it took less than 20 minutes to get to work and less than 20 minutes to get back from work. And it was incredible. But it takes me an hour to get to work and an hour to get back. 45 minutes on a good day.
Here's how my experience in San Francisco was this last week. I get, after about 3 hours of driving from Reno, because I was held up in Reno because of all the snow on Donner Pass. Thank you. That's your first taste of how. That's your first. If you're going to San Francisco from Reno, that's your first taste of how you're gonna get fucked. Is Donner Pass. And then you roll through like Sacramento. That's pretty easy. And then as you start rolling up into like Berkeley, that's when you start like really feeling the dick on your asshole. That's when the shit really starts hitting the fan, is when you start rolling into Berkeley. And eventually I get to the Oakland Bay Bridge, and I get to the toll booth, and I hand the toll booth attendant a 20, because I'm in a big truck, so naturally they're gonna charge more for a truck. So I hand the guy a 20. He's like, "Oh, no, 25. And I'm like, "What?" "Oh, 25. Oh, okay." And then I have to like dig into my wallet and find $5. So I pay him, and I'm just like crossing the Oakland Bay Bridge, and I get past like Terminal Island in that weird fucking tunnel with the exit ramps that are like how are these ramps legal on Terminal Island? They're stop signs. On ramps aren't supposed to have stop signs. What the fuck? This is an interstate. What the fuck? And you roll into San Francisco, and the first thing you see is a fucking gastropub, and you're like, "Oh, that's a fucking thing." And then 80 turns into Interstate 80 turns into US 101, and you're like, okay, yeah, because fucking San Francisco hates interstates. So you go onto the 101, and then you're like, oh, here comes my exit. And you take the exit, and you're like, oh, I'm on the top of a hill, and the place I had to go to is at the bottom of a hill. My truck has 40 tons of cargo. This is gonna be fun.
I want to die now.
Yeah, you're like, okay, I'm basically riding my brakes all the way down this hill. Oh boy, my truck really loves this. My brakes are, well, I drive a modern truck, so the brakes are fine. But still, it's just like, oh, I'm riding the brakes. Oh boy. And you know, at least the delivery wasn't a problem. The delivery wasn't a huge issue. At least the people at the warehouse are fine.
No, our roads are a fucking nightmare here. And San Jose is even worse because San Jose is like, oh, all that shit you hate about driving in California, but also potholes.
Yeah, and then I'm just like, and then I leave and I'm like driving south on 101 because I don't want to be fucked with the Bay Bridge again. So I'm driving down, 101, and I'm like, oh, hey, there's that hotel with the Brony convention that's happening next week or this week. So we're recording all the nostalgia. And then I cross over on the Highway 92 bridge, and it's the afternoon, and it's like, oh boy, I'm not gonna get out of this shit for the next 3 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me text them bullshit and post pictures of the shit I see. Here's a Porsche from a dude that says like, his license plate says douchebag. Basically, I forget what I sent you a picture of a Porsche that was in front of me. I forgot what the license plate said, but it said it was basically he's a douchebag.
Let me go back through our text log here. Coming at you live from fucking amazing broadcast. Did we? Yeah, we forgot to say like what we're doing here at the beginning, didn't we?
Oh yeah, this is a podcast we're doing.
Shit, I forgot.
Yeah, but fucking.
Here it is. It's a Porsche Panamera, I think.
And no, it's a Porsche. It's a Porsche 911.
911, yeah, that's right. And the fucking license plate just says filthy.
And I'm just like, I'm just like, yeah, this guy's a douchebag. And I'm just like, that's how slow going across 92 is. I could just like fucking have my truck in gear, just like tooting along, and I'm just like on my phone texting you while you're at work at fucking Hertz or wherever the fuck you work at. You're alone at the car rental company, just like fucking twiddling your thumbs, and I'm on Highway 92 going across the bay twiddling my thumbs while my truck is just like tugging along at 1 mile per hour. I can literally like go to sleep in the sleeper.
The worst part too of my job is I work at a location by myself, and it's a satellite location to the main location that I started working at. So because it's a satellite location, we don't have a time card machine there, and we're old fashioned. We still do the punch cards. So when the day is over, I don't get to go home. I have to drive back to the main location to clock out. And that's also where my car is, because I don't drive my car during business hours. I drive Hertz cars because that's the fucking that way if I get into an accident, it's Hertz's insurance, and also like they don't want to pay me for my gas, so we use Hertz gas. So I have to I don't get to bring my car to the location where I work. I have to park it at the location I clock in from, go to the location I work to, and then at the end of the day come back to clock out and get my car and go home. And it's the worst. It's the worst.
You know what happens when I come home off the road? I go to my boss's shop and I park the truck inside, and I walk out to my car and I just leave. It's great. It's awesome. I don't have to clock in or out or anything.
Don't you have a built-in clock system with your truck though?
Oh yeah. We do have an e-log.
It logs the driving hours.
Yeah, we have an e-log system.
Yeah.
Basically I pull my truck into the garage and I go to my e-log and I say off duty, vacation, and I leave. It's great. It's amazing.
We're actually in the process of switching over our time card machines to an online system now. I think through Azure Force. I'm not sure. But we're gonna be doing clock in, clock out online now.
Yeah,
which I'm so excited for. I can't wait for that to happen.
Yeah, we use Qualcomm. Okay. We're at the end of the episode, but I want to take a moment here just to bitch. Okay, so Qualcomm, they're a company. They're a very big company. And if you have an Android phone, most likely the chipset in that Android phone is from Qualcomm. And they're very fast. They're very reliable. The ARM chipset from Qualcomm, the Snapdragon processors are fucking amazing. I will grant Qualcomm that. The E-log system they use for truck drivers in the trucking industry is from fucking 10 years ago. It's fucking garbage. I think I bitched about this to you before in bullshit. Okay, so the E-log system we have, I actually, because, I'm a fucking nerd, so I want to know more about the tech I use, in my everyday life. And, this E-log system is something I use every fucking day when I'm out on the road. So I want to know more about it. So I looked it up online and looked it up on Qualcomm's site. And you have a choice. When somebody purchases this E-log system from Qualcomm, they have a choice of what operating system they can use, because it's an ARM based system, and they give you 3 choices, which is pretty cool. That's very democratic of them. And you have the choice of Android, which I think is like Android 6.0, whatever kind of candy that Android is. It's Android 6.0. Or you can use Windows 10, which is not the most popular, but it is an operating system that is still supported. Or you can have Windows CE.
Nope.
You want to guess what fucking operating system my company chose? You want to fucking guess Windows CE, because the fucking IT department of my company got there in 1995 and they don't want to learn anything new. They have tenure. So guess what? We get to use fucking Windows CE. You want to know how many times it fucking crashes?
Every time you clock.
Once a day. Once a day it fucking crashes. It fucking shuts down and I have to start it back up. Fuck you. Fuck you. Pick up a fucking technical manual and learn how to use fucking Android. It's fucking Android. People in the third world buying a $20 phone know how to use Android. You live in the fucking first world. Why the fuck can't you just learn how to use fucking Android? We could be using Android and this shit will actually be reliable. But no, we have to use fucking Windows CE because you fucking went to school to learn how to use Windows CE in fucking 1995. And God forbid you learned how to use any other fucking operating system. God damn it. Fucking quit your goddamn job, you fuckheads. Oh my god! What
That's
Microsoft?
Okay. Our
Microsoft
IT department is outsourced to fucking India, so I can't
they
really
they probably know how to use fucking Android.
That's true.
Because god damn it, when Microsoft did, let me look really quick. No, dude, I am like genuinely distressed right now. I'm having like a fucking mental breakdown right now, because I fucking hate Windows CE so goddamn much. Yeah, latest release, 13th of June, 2013, 4 fucking years ago.
2013 was 5 years ago.
5 years ago. I fucking hate this. I hate this so goddamn much. I almost want to pay money out of my own fucking pocket to get like Android certification, and then go to my company and be like, hey, I have Android certification. Let's switch over to a fucking decent operating system. Cause fuck this shit. Cause fuck this shit. Why are we using this and let's not even talk about the security issues. You know, the e-log system of trucks is so fucking vital and so important. But this operating system hasn't been updated in 5 fucking years. Why are we using such an unsecure system? We could be using Windows 10, Windows 10 Mobile, and we wouldn't have to worry about security issues of like some fucking Russian hacker. Because everybody, blame everything on Russia because it's fucking Trump's America. Just blame everything on Russia. But that's another fucking topic. But. God damn it! I fucking hate this. I'm sorry for going off, but I'm just so fucking frustrated with this shit. It's like literally if I switch from driving to off duty, the computer locks up for like 5 seconds. That's how bad our e-log system is. It freezes for 5 seconds before it says, "Oh, okay, now you're off duty." Some companies, they just bypass all this shit and give their drivers iPads. They just run everything off of iOS.
You know who does that? Enterprise rental cars. They do everything with iPads now. Did you know that? It's actually really cool.
Yeah, there's not the big companies, because for some reason the big companies are all tied up with Qualcomm. But a lot of smaller companies, they just give their drivers the cheapest iPad they can, and they just run all their e-logs off of iPads. And I'm like, I'm really jealous of you. Because I say what you will about Apple and iOS, but iPads are fucking rock solid. They run just fine. Anyway, I'm done bitching. I'm okay. I'm better now.
It's Sunday and I have to go back to work, so.
Yeah. Hopefully when you guys upgrade your time card system, they don't switch over to Windows CE. Hopefully.
We're running on all of our stuff is running on 7 right now.
Okay, so it's a good operating system, it's just a bit old.
Yeah, and we're pretty much, we just introduced iPhones into our everyday. We now do vehicle inspections at my company using a phone app, which is really cool. We take pictures with the iPhone of the car and everything, and then it gets uploaded to a cloud. So that's cool. Like we're continually updating things. We're just a little bit behind the curve. Compared to other companies.
Yeah. You want to know how useless our e-log system is because of how bad Windows CE is? Like, if we have the unfortunate situation of getting into an accident, like our old accident kit, because every truck has this. Every modern truck has this. They have an accident kit, and what used to be part of our accident kit was a disposable camera. Because what you do is if you got into an accident, you just take the disposable camera and just take every fucking picture you could with it, and then send it off to your company, and they get with the insurance and deal with it. Now they're just like, just take a shitload of pictures with your smartphone. Just take a fuckload of pictures with your smartphone and just email them to us. It's like if you really wanted to, you could just give us an app on our phone, and we could just do all of our logging with this app. Instead of giving all this fucking money to Qualcomm to run fucking Windows CE on this device that barely fucking works. But hey, that's how corporations work. Welcome to capitalism, everybody. We say it's better than communism, but it's really just not that much different. Okay, now I'm done bitching.
This has been a production of the Fucking Amazing Podcast, or for short, FAPCast. I have been your host and bullshit, as always, joined by my best bud, MDefMech.
We are best of friends.
We forgot to say that at the beginning of the episode. Hello and welcome everyone to the end of this, our FAPCast episode number, whatever the fuck I've forgotten. It's been so goddamn long since we recorded.
Oh god,
It's been so long since we recorded. Let me just read this this message here. Oh, where the fuck is it?
On our Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a Discord server, by the way. I'll include a link in the podcast description on YouTube. But yeah, we have a Discord server.
Whoops! I accidentally clicked on the the wrong chat channel. I accidentally switched chat channels by accident. Where the fuck was this? I saw a great. Here it is.
Oh yeah, it's an episode discussion.
Here it is, an episode discussion posted on March 26th, 2018, last Monday as of the recording of this podcast from user Zen. March 26th, 2018, it's been years since the last FAPcast episode. Nowadays, people are starting to believe it's a myth. Thank you. Thank you. We are a myth.
Yeah, and my message below that, yeah, I'm gonna start re-uploading old GCC episodes, just so that there's something you guys can listen to, so you can listen back on the days where we wanted to fuck cartoon horses.
And not that has changed necessarily. And I recommend, if you're podcast deprived, checking out, if you haven't already, the Maximum Fun Network. There are some great podcasts there, including one of my favorite podcasts of all time, Oh No, Ross and Carrie. Please check that podcast out. It's phenomenal.
Okay, if we're doing quick podcast shout outs, let me also recommend Maximum Fun, but let me also recommend Last Podcast on the Left. Really great podcast about murderers and conspiracy theories. Also Cortex, which has CGP Grey from YouTube. You know, he does the smart educational videos, and here's him talking about doing shit like that. Also, Colin's Last Stand. Whether you're a conservative or liberal, it doesn't fucking matter. He does some interesting shit. Yeah.
Also, please, season 2 of The Adventure Zone is starting, like, in a few weeks here. If you haven't listened to the entirety of the first season of that podcast, you are missing out.
Also, if you want really mediocre big boob furry porn, check out mdefmech.tumblr.com. without the first E. I draw really mediocre furry porn, and I also link to furry porn artists who are a lot better than me. So check out mdefmech without the E.com. No, it's actually mdefmech.com without the E. Fuck. I wish that asshole who squatted on mdefmech.com wasn't around. Fuck you. What's he... Where can people find your degenerate reblogging of shit from 3 months ago?
Because my entire blog is just an extended queue.
Yeah, like literally you were blogging some stuff from like fucking, I forgot what was it, like Ruby or something. I'm like, oh, you must have watched Ruby like 3 months ago.
Yeah, I'm at mbullshit.tumblr.com. That's MBULSHT. You can find me there. My username is mbullshit pretty much everywhere. You can find me on YouTube as well. I have been working on some music projects recently, so maybe some stuff on YouTube. Maybe, I don't know, next year. Who knows?
Yeah, and also you can check out, I'll post a link in the description, you can check out our Discord server. We have a channel called NSFW Furry Fuckhole, where Mr. Sonic OSG is posting a lot of furry porn in our server right now. And sometimes we talk about Bitcoins and how stupid cryptocurrency is. And we have a channel where myself and BH Hammy and other people are posting our shitty artwork on. Don't fear, Hammy. Your artwork is amazing. You know, everybody draws amazing artwork. It just, yeah. Okay. Go check out our Discord server.
End me.
Yeah.
End this episode, please.
Just fucking kill me already. Just put a gun to my...
I'm working 60 plus hours a week. I'm so tired.
I've been out on the road for 6 fucking weeks.
Yeah,
I deliver.
fuck that.
You want to know how many fucking Walmart distribution centers I've been to?
I don't want to know anything about Walmart.
Let me tell you. Okay, one last thing before we stop recording. One last thing before we stop recording. You want to take a quick guess as to how much cheese I've pulled out of Wisconsin compared to the amount of cheese I've delivered to Wisconsin from, let's say, California and Oregon?
Is it like 100%? Did you is it just you pull cheese out of Wisconsin but never give any back? As Wisconsin is an endless supplier of infinite cheese.
I have never had a cheese load out of Wisconsin. I've only delivered.
Really?
I've only delivered cheese from Oregon and California to Wisconsin. It's almost like Wisconsin doesn't really make cheese anymore. It's just they run on the fucking marketing of Wisconsin being a cheese producing state, when the reality is all of your cheese comes from Oregon and California.
That's very weird. I don't like that.
It's not a conspiracy theory. It's fucking
reality.
That's
totally a conspiracy theory. There's something going on there. They're hoarding the cheese. They're hoarding the cheese for something. They know something. They're waiting.
Wake up, white people. And with that, our episode is over. I'm pressing the button now.